you don't believe you could change the world, then you can't. I believe I can, so I will. I'm Anthony, and this is... Cause it's a lost path, no way to get rich. I'm moving the girl. Hey, yo, Pluto. So, this is something we've been talking about for a long time. Just trying to make a difference and,
start a video, tell our story, listen to others.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess show people what we overcome in our lives and how we stay mentally strong and everything, just not just that, but I guess COVID makes us
force it.
Yeah, force that and start this.
Yeah.
So, and which
we tried a lot of things in this time, and it just keeps coming back to this. So.
Literally, starting a YouTube, just doing something different that I think we will be good at, and something I'm super excited for. So honestly, super excited to do this. So, what do you think?
We're starting this channel because we know a lot of people that are suffering right now, being with themselves a lot and kind of being forced to deal with things they've never had to deal with, and see their problems kind of head on every single day instead of avoiding them like they may normally do. So just because we know so many people that are going through it, we just kind of wanted to say, hey, like, we're here, we want to have a conversation about it, like, you're not alone, and maybe there's something we can say to help.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think this Without Limitation speaks for itself. We are no longer in a box. We want to talk about it all, talk about the nitty gritty, the fun stuff, the everything. And
there's no box on this. So
yeah,
we're gonna do it all.
Not a box at all. Like, we want to have people come in. We want to, if there's something trending on Twitter, then I want to talk about it, and I want to have a good time doing it. But today and probably the next few episodes, it's
focused on mental health.
Yeah, it's focused on kind of what we go through in the day to day. So I guess it's only right to start off the first episode with, what does Without Limitation mean to you?
Well, I feel like it could mean a lot of different things. For me, I think it means being free and being fearless, and just like really not having a limitation in anything inside your head or the way that you move day to day. Moving without worry of what people are thinking of you, or
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, there's always some type of judgment, or like, what will this person think, or is this the right move, instead of us just going with what feels right for us or what truly is us. And I feel like sometimes we lose that. So I think just living your life without fear of what people think or how people see you, and just being yourself and being like, I love this shit, and like, accept it or don't.
Yeah, I think I agree with that 100%. Mine is basically the same thing, but I might word it a little different. But Without Limitation, for me, especially in my life, is not being inside of a box, doing everything that I want to do truly. And of course, if you have kids or if you have a husband or wife, you got to make certain sacrifices. Yeah. But at the end of the day, if you're not okay, then nothing's okay. Because this is ultimately your life. And once you're okay in your life, everything else starts to look a little bit better. So not being okay so much with the status quo. Yeah. Not going to college because your parents tell you to go to college. Doing what is truly what you want to do and what's best for you. And that's Without Limitation. So yeah, me and you both might go to college, but you're doing it because your parents want you to. I'm doing it because I want to. Right. I'm living without limitation, but you're within that limitation.
Limited by my parents.
Exactly.
Or whatever.
Exactly. And ultimately, you might not be as successful because you're forced. You know what I'm saying? And we don't want people's lives to be forced.
And even if the decision for me would have been, I'm going to go to college because I want to, in the back of my mind, I still made that decision because of them, so something is different about it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? The
Definitely.
way that I move forward will feel differently.
Right.
Because that decision wasn't mine.
Right. Definitely. So, I guess to start off with the first topic, and to put it as blunt as possible, and this is something that I've never heard. Nobody's ever told me. You know, people, and I'm gonna say it soon. I know y'all like, what is it? But most people say, you know, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you know, they put it in terms like that, but nobody truly says in a blunt statement, life is fucking hard. Nobody says that. Nobody's gonna tell you life is hard. Period. Nothing else. I don't need.
Life is hard if you were born here. Like, it's hard.
Exactly. Pain is pain. And, you know, of course, to everybody, you know, that person's life might look better than mine, or, oh, your struggle isn't as hard as mine. The grass is always greener. But at the end of the day, life is fucking hard.
Life is life. Everybody struggles.
Everybody struggles. So the person with $1 million that doesn't struggle for money, they might deal with anxiety. They might deal with depression. They deal with insecurities. They deal with so much pressure. And then, you know, guys like me, where I grew up, shit, I was wondering where the next meal was coming. Shit, my mom and dad bouncing house to house, living in foreclosed homes, being squatters, like the whole 9 yards. But at the end of the day, pain is pain. And you can't hold weight to anybody else's pain. Right. It's all pain, and their struggle is just as hard for them as your struggle is for you. And I think a lot of the times nobody realizes that. And, you know, and I think what we want to talk about is like, you know, how do we deal with that? How do we move past that? How do we grow from anxiety, grow from depression naturally? You know, most people smoke it out, smoke the depression off, smoke the anxiety off.
I wouldn't say they smoke it off. They smoke it to the back.
Yeah, to the back burner, try to, you know, or, you know, some people, you know, do drink it, everything. You know, we all have tried many different things to try to not feel depression, not feel anxiety. So yeah, literally. So I think everybody has dealt with all of it, you know, and that's a huge thing. So
there's no like right or wrong answer to how to deal with it, or try to, you know, make yourself feel better about it or anything like that.
It's just what works for you.
Yeah.
It's literally what works for you. So do you want to start us off with why do we think people struggle?
I feel like there's so many different reasons, but I do think a lot of it is like what you said, like nobody tells you just straight up like life is hard. Like you're never ever put in a position to just be like, okay, I can wrap my mind around that and then move forward accordingly.
You're not prepared.
You don't know, you don't essentially don't know that information. So like for me, information is everything. So when I know something, I'm like, okay, and I can adjust. But if you don't ever know that and you see all these people that you just think it's not hard for them, then it seems like you're alone. Right,
and you're not noticing what they're dealing with when they're by themselves. Because most people are closed off.
Right.
You know, most people...
You don't even know they're struggling.
Exactly. You can put on a bright face, and then a lot of people you don't realize will commit suicide.
Yep.
And then you're
surprised and you're like, what?
That person?
He was so nice.
He seemed like he was okay.
Yeah.
And that's what, you know, but he was dealing with so much, or she was dealing with so much when they were by themselves.
Yeah.
And... you know, I think a lot of the times those thoughts and everything that you're overthinking can take over. But, you know, for me, it's very similar. Why I think people struggle with depression, anxiety, they're not prepared. Yeah. They're not prepared from birth. They're not prepared in school. They're, you know, it's literally just like you go through 16 years of your life and nobody helps you or teaches you how to control your mind. You're just kind of going through the motions. You're figuring it out on your own.
Time is so consumed. It's like, oh, I'm in school from this to this. Yep. I'm either playing sports or I'm doing homework or whatever it may be. And it's like there's no time to really be like, you know, fuck until you're on your own.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like nobody tells you, oh yeah, you have to pay your insurance, you got to pay your car note, you have to pay your house, but you also have to be mentally okay. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what nobody tells you.
They just tell you like how to survive.
Exactly. And yeah, and it's like, all right, so I go to school most of my 8 hours of my day, and you know, basically prepare me for slavery.
For work the rest of your life.
The rest of your life, and then okay, I'm in a math class, I'm in a geometry, or at least I guess geometry is math, but I'm in a math class, I'm in a science class, I'm in English, and you know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, I'm in those classes, and then none of those classes are mental health.
Right.
Mental stability.
And all of those classes, well, I'll say most of those classes are for what? Like, I don't know.
Literally, I don't use none of that shit.
I don't know what they're for, but
yeah, I mean, me
so
personally,
like,
I don't need it.
If the classes were something that I'm like, I see why this is important, I'd be like, okay, maybe they didn't have time or resources to put into mental health. But
right.
These classes are pointless.
Pointless, literally.
It's a waste of time.
A waste of time for majority of the population.
Yeah, unless you're gonna
be a scientist.
Exactly.
To use algebra 2 or college algebra.
Meniscus and like literally, I just use that for fun.
Meniscus is in the kneecap. Oh, you're talking.
We need to see things eye level.
Oh.
I think I'm questioning. Type shit.
Goddamn. No, but yeah, and it's like, I mean, nobody in none of those classes did they teach us how to be mentally okay. And I guess, just to start off, in a short version that, we'll get into detail in different episodes, like, what do you do? Like, what helps you calm yourself down or stop you from overthinking and put you in a okay place, for that moment or for any moment?
I feel like overall I'm a really calm person. It takes a lot to kind of like get me going or get me like in a place where I have anxiety or anything like that. But
right.
I don't know. I think from a young age, I just kind of had a common understanding of like, it kind of sounds dark, but like I felt alone, even though I have so many people that, are around me. It's like, if I'm by myself all the time, then I need to be okay with myself. I need to kind of be my best friend, and I need to be there for myself.
Right.
So I've never really felt alone, and if I do get anxiety or feel sad or whatever, I never truly feel alone anymore. And so I can go into a place in my mind where I feel like I have a friend, which sounds crazy.
Right.
Like, just like
got an alter ego.
But I just don't feel alone. Like, I feel fine. Like, I go and I'm like, damn, this sucks or whatever, and it takes like no time at all for me to be like, I'm good. Like,
right.
Get through this shit.
That's crazy. Because I never even knew that about you. And and it's it's crazy what you teach yourself when you're in certain circumstances.
Right.
Yeah, literally. And I mean, for me, I think I paid attention really well to my surroundings. And, I grew up in the hood. I grew up with probably going through more shit than the common kid. I seen my dad beat my mom. I seen crackheads get beat up. I seen my dad beat up. I seen people get shot at. And
really quick, I just want you to say, like, who you have to look up to as a basketball player.
Funny story. So I think most people, like, if you see, kids, there are, NBA players now, a lot of their dads were in the NBA.
Yeah, or the G League, where they know,
and
they were in the circle.
Exactly, they were in the circle, and it's like, and you see all these people that are in the NBA, they took pictures with a whole bunch of NBA players, and you're like, it's not a coincidence. If you're surrounded by that, that's what you will become. You're, just like, yeah, if you're surrounded by dope dealers when you're a kid, guess what? Likely you're going to be a dope dealer.
Your chances are good.
Exactly. Your chances are higher.
Right.
And for me, funny story is like, growing up, I always wanted to go to the NBA. I always wanted to do that. And then I just thought back, like, who did I have to look up to when I was a kid? The best player I knew in basketball was a fucking crackhead. He was literally a crackhead. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I wanted to go to the NBA, but I don't even know what an NBA player looked like.
Chances are not looking good.
The chances aren't good for me.
Like, you might be able to go to like the crack NBA.
If they made a crack NBA, I would be there. So it's just like, so for real, it's like, but the best player that I've seen growing up was literally a crackhead. And that nigga was kind of nice, though. He did his thing. I was young, though, so whatever. But
so funny.
Yeah, but I think for me, paying attention to my surroundings, it put me in a place to notice what I didn't want. And most people, most people don't look at it that way. Just like nobody, I wouldn't, when I was alone, I wasn't like, I need a friend, let me go in here. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't doing that. Yeah, so, but for me, I just like, I paid attention and I noticed what I didn't want. I noticed what I didn't want in a relationship. I noticed what I didn't want in life. I noticed, I still ain't never smoked weed because I didn't like how other people acted when they did it. It wasn't, I have nothing against it. It's just me personally. I didn't want to do it.
You made that decision for yourself.
Exactly. I made it for me. I took myself out of the box because it's truly what I wanted. And then from there, once I noticed everything I didn't want, I had to teach myself how to be honest with myself. And a lot of people, even me included, I used to lie to myself. And when you lie to yourself, it's very dangerous. Very dangerous. So I had to teach myself not to do that. Be honest with myself. If I'm not okay, that's okay. You know what I'm saying? No, but if you're not okay, that's okay to not be okay. So when somebody asks, "Are you all right?"
Very okay.
Yeah. If somebody asks you, "Hey, you doing all right?" No, I'm not. You don't have to tell them why you're not doing okay, but don't lie to yourself.
You need to accept it.
Exactly.
So you can adjust and solve the problem.
Exactly. And a lot of times, I did that. And then I taught myself not to do that. And it put me in better places.
It took you a long time to fully decide those decisions, but I feel like you've always had a clear answer for what those decisions are.
Right.
Even if you followed them or not. I feel like that's something that I look up to is like, you are yourself, like through and through, and it takes people a long time to get there.
Right, and I think that's definitely true.
Cause it's a lost path, you know where to get rich. I'm more than that.
Hey, yo, Pluto, you going brazen?